Be helpful. I'm sort of overwhelmed by that introduction. Thank you so terribly much. I think, bottom line, we both know that if we do not work together in a bipartisan way, we may not get the best possible bill, but the best bill possible, and we want to get it moving. And like yourself, and I want to associate myself with your remarks and apologies to the witnesses and having them stay an extra day. The vagaries of the schedule in the Senate are renowned, but seldom do we acknowledge, at least, that some of these times, due to the uncertainty in the schedule, causes a lot of problems for folks who have come all the way to their nation's capital to testify. So thanks to all the witnesses and our apologies. I could just sort of say ditto to your opening comments. I was looking here when I said, I look forward to hearing from everyone as we talk about how we can help farmers manage their risk so they can continue to produce the safest, most abundant, and least expensive food supply in the world. We don't have the same speech writer, but I think we're on the same page. I hear time and time again, just as you have said, that lenders, that our producers and their lenders, especially important in regards to stressing lenders, that crop insurance is the cornerstone of the farm safety net. Why do you have a farm safety net? I know we get in the weeds here in this farm bill hearing on the commodity section and on crop insurance and some of the details. We got to feed 9 billion people in the next several decades. We're going to have to double ag production if we continue to follow through in our country's role of being a humanitarian country, and also to try to provide food and fiber to areas of the world that can't feed themselves. And if you show me a country that can't sustain itself in terms of its food production, you have a very chaotic situation, and then you don't have any world stability, and you get into the problems that we see today, more especially in the Mideast. That's a big-time thing, and you got to really stop and think about the role that the farmers and the ranchers play in that. And so it's just not a farm bill. This is something that affects, as I've said, world stability and not only feeding this country, but a troubled and hungry world. But let's get back to crop insurance. If you doubt its importance, just look at what crop insurance provided this past year. We had the worst drought since the Dust Bowl in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas in 2011, last year. We had massive flooding along the Mississippi and the Missouri rivers, and hurricanes devastated the Northeast. Yet just months after all of this ruin, our producers are now tuning up their equipment and preparing their fields to put seed in the ground once again. It is not because of some day late or dollar short ad hoc disaster package that farmers are back on their feet producing the food that feeds, as I've said before, a troubled and hungry world. No, these farmers are able to put the seed in the ground again because they managed their risk and protected their operations from Mother Nature's destruction through the purchase of crop insurance. And if that isn't a success story of the partnership between government and private industry and America's farmers, I don't know what is. But just because the program is successful doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. Crop insurance is a big tent with plenty of room under it. The program already protects more than 250 million acres of cropland in the United States. That's 2/3 of the eligible acres. But there are still acres that are not protected, and producers who can't afford to purchase the kind of protection that they need. The more producers under that crop insurance tent and protected from disaster, the more stable our food supply and our rural economies will be. We made great progress last fall in the Joint Committee process in improving crop insurance to bring even more people under the tent. So I look forward to continuing our work to preserve, protect, and strengthen crop insurance, and to hearing the thoughts of our witnesses on how to improve upon an enormously successful program. We're also going to hear from our witnesses about Title I farm programs. Let me emphasize that I'm committed to working, as I know the chairwoman is and has been, with all of my colleagues and those involved in agriculture to find a program or a suite of programs that will improve agriculture's safety net. I'm confident that we can find solutions that we can live up to our WTO commitments. That's important. and that will be simple for our producers to understand, hopefully, and utilize, and also importantly, will be reasonable for the FSA, the Department of Agriculture, to implement. I'm also confident we can find solutions that won't drive planting decisions and lead farmers to plant for government programs instead of the marketplace. Now, there was a time in the not-so-distant past when our farm programs greatly distorted planting decisions and led to a lot of WTO complications. And I, as chair of the House Ag Committee some years ago, along with others here in the Senate, Senator Grassley played a key role, he was here earlier, did everything we could to eliminate those distortions. Senator Lugar, as chairman, played a key role in that effort, and I thank you, sir, for that effort. I generally like to talk about the good old days, but in the case of farm policy, old isn't necessarily good. Madam Chairwoman, we have a lot of work ahead of us, and I look forward to hearing from our witnesses. I appreciate everybody coming, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much.